Alice as she stared at me intensely, and the words she spoke crossed my mind again and again. Everything has a price. If everything has a price, what was hers? What did Alice pay for her gifts? Suddenly my mind was running through possibilities. What could she have paid? My mind began to cling to memories of the stories that circulate around Alice. All of the unfortunate accidents that happened to the working staff at her estate. Was that it? Was that the price she paid? Is she somehow sacrificing her staff? Or is that simply Alice? Is that what her second power is? Something that let her actually hurt those people? Alice released my jacket and sat back in place. She still kept her serious composure, staring at me intensely. Alice took a deep, long breath. After exhaling, she began to speak. Regiment, I was going to keep the second power I have a secret, and I didn't want to blow everything about magic the first time we talked about it. But since you've already spoken to the man in the pinstripe suit, it's only a matter of time before he comes back. You have something he wants, so it's unlikely that he's just going to forget about it and move on. So, in order to make sure you get the best deal possible, I'm going to need to teach you about magic and about my second ability. I sat up, crossing my legs, taking a deep breath, closing my eyes for a moment, and then stared right back at Alice, intently waiting. Listen, Regiment, there is a reason that my family is one of the most prosperous in all of England. It's because a member of my family made a deal with the pinstripe man a very long time ago. The man in the pinstripe suit came to my great-grandfather and offered him a deed, what you might call an ongoing arrangement between him and the Wallengard family. Back then, my great-grandfather was in a terrible set of strife financially. His business was failing and finances were tight, to say the least. It was looking like he was going to end up in the poorhouse. But then a man appeared out of nowhere, a man in a pinstripe suit. He said that what my father had was a lack of fortune, but if he made a deal with him, then he could change that, return my father's fortunes, return my family's fortunes. And so my great-grandfather made a deal with the man in the pinstripe suit in exchange for the bloodline power Forever Fortunate. The power Forever Fortunate is passed down from parent to child. Each and every member of the Wallengard family has the power Forever Fortunate. Essentially, what this means is we are incapable of having bad luck. We are forever fortunate in everything that we do. If we go to a casino and gamble, we never lose. If we walk over tricky terrain, we never trip. And if we are offered multiple business arrangements, we always pick the one that is the most profitable to us, even if we don't know which one it is. Because in essence, our fortune is endless. The balance between being lucky and being unlucky no longer exists for us. We are always fortunate, always lucky, Alice said. My eyes were wide with amazement, glued to Alice as she told the story. Something that sounded so incredible. But for something like that, what could they possibly pay? How do you pay for luck? I thought to myself, staring at Alice, waiting for her to continue the story. But as I said before, nothing comes without a price when you deal with the man in the pinstripe suit. But before I explain what he gets out of the deal, you need to first understand how magic actually works. Most people believe that if magic does exist, that it's simply some kind of endless resource that you can draw from whenever you want, that there are no limitations, that you can do anything you want whenever you want, and that there's no cost to be paid for it. They are entirely wrong, Alice said. There is nothing in this universe that does not have a limit, nothing that comes without a price. To be honest and realistic, magic is really no different than science. For example, we, being educated people, know about electricity, and we often remark saying that we create electricity to use. But that's not actually true, is it? We don't really create electrical energy. We simply exchange one type of energy for another. When men build a dam to block off a river, and collect electricity from it, we simply exchange the movement speed of the water and the force it creates for electrical energy. Magic works much the same way. You can exchange one type of energy for another, turning something that isn't useful to you into something that is. And just like electricity, it can be transferred from one place to another. That means, just like with electricity, you can't pull it out of thin air. The energy has to come from somewhere, even if it's a different source. And that includes luck. You see, unlike science with electrical energy, things that are physical, things that everybody can see or feel, magic draws energy from other places. Basically, everything that you can think of emotes some kind of magical energy. That is, if it's alive, of course. The ground you're sitting on, the grass growing beneath your feet, the water flowing through that brook over there, even the energy that maintains your life. Even your individual emotions themselves generate a small amount of magical energy, each individual to the feeling that you experience. Happiness, sadness, anger, fear, all of them produce their own field of energy. Even your own soul, yes, you do have a soul, those emit spiritual energy. The entire universe and everything in it is basically nothing but a system of checks and balances. All of the energies that maintain everything are constantly trying to keep themselves in a state of equilibrium, of balance for everything. That, for example, is why most people have both good and bad luck, because there is a balance to maintain. If everyone in the universe only ever had good luck, then all good luck would cease to exist in no time at all. So, it's balanced. People have a mixture of both good luck and bad luck. This is also why people experience more than one emotion. If everyone in the universe existed in a state of constant and pure happiness, the energy which sustains happiness throughout the universe would simply break down. Everything would collapse. Like gears in a clock, if one gear breaks and stops working, the entire clock stops working. Which brings me back to Forever Fortunate. Our family's power, Forever Fortunate, allows us to always be lucky. But luck is not an infinite resource. Our own luck eventually dries out. Every time something goes our way, every time we win at poker or don't trip over a rock, a small amount of the luck that we have drains away. Normally, this would mean that our fortunes would shift. We would start to experience minor amounts of bad luck that would cause the balance to shift back to good. And in this way, all people are usually equal, acting like a teeter-totter, bouncing back and forth between good luck and bad luck, all in safe, regimented amounts. Never so good that you get everything you want all the time, and never so bad that the moment you step out of your door you get hit by a meteor. But the Wallengard's luck is never ending. We are forever fortunate, and because we are forever fortunate, our luck continues to drain, but our supply of luck continues to be refilled. And that begs the question, from where is that energy coming? Where does all the luck come from for the Wallengard family? And the answer is simple. It comes from everyone around us. That is the backlash of always being lucky ourselves. We are able to always be lucky because we drain the luck energy from all of those around us. The longer that people spend time with us, the more of their fortunes that drain away and are absorbed by us. For the most part, as long as it's regimented, this isn't too much of a bad thing. Spend time with enough people and you just end up with a bunch of people who stub their toe a little bit more than normal, who lose their keys a little too often, whose cars break down a little too much. But the more time you spend with us, the more the luck begins to shift, the heavier the toll on your individual luck, and the worse your luck gets, the higher the chances that something dire will happen to you. The thoughts rushed through my mind. Suddenly it all made sense. That's why they kept on having to switch the staff at the household. That's why all of Alice's employees continued to to have those terrible accidents. They spent too much time having their luck drained away, and when there's an absence of fortune, misfortune is all that's left.